Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Ray the Flying Squirrel here, and I am back for the likes of the Mexi Toys videos once again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more Let's Play of Super Mario Bros. Wonder for the Nintendo Switch. So, last time, we've essentially did manage to continue exploring for the forms of World 6, which is of course, Deep Magma Bog. So as a result, we did somehow manage to accomplish certain things throughout. Like, for instance, we did somehow manage to able to went into some stages, and of course, we did somehow come across into the final secret exit in the entire game. And on top of that, we also did manage to able to take on the forms of the final battleship level. So as a result, despite we did die a couple of times, most notably because of the forms of the 10 flower coins that we somehow need to obtain, until we decided able to spend on something in the future. So because of that, yeah, today for this video is about the fact that hopefully though, we should be able to actually completely done everything for the sake of the forms of Deep Magma Bog. And then once we're able to actually claim ourselves the 6th Royal Seed, eventually, we might able to actually go back into Petal Isles for, presumably for the final time, to able to take on the forms of the Bowser Castle segment, or Chaos Bowser to be more specific. So because of that, so yeah, relatively speaking, it was about the fact that we need to take care of the forms of the next couple of stages, as you can tell, for the likes of the Expert Badge Challenge, as you can tell. And unfortunately though, we are going back into Invincibility Badge once again, ever since in World 4, so relatively speaking though, I wouldn't be surprised about the fact that I might as well die a couple of times during the forms of this particular segment. But it gets a little bit more difficult though, until likely at the end game though, but then again, that can wait for that particular topic. So, anyways though, so as we expected, we'll be invincible for temporarily, or should I say, will be invincible throughout the majority of this particular mini stage, and hopefully we should be able to God forbid, to land on these bouncy mushrooms specifically, so just in case you don't fall into a bottomless pit. But thankfully though, we've got a whole bunch of checkpoints every once in a while, just in case we don't able to die continuously, until later on anyway. So, anyways, let's get on to the actual Lakitu Cloud, if we manage to take care of this Lakitu enemy right here. So, yeah, not much else to say about this, I'm afraid, guys, apart from the fact that I can't believe we're getting very close towards the end, not just by the forms of this world in general, but eventually in the entire game itself as well. I mean, what's next? I mean, like I said before, that hopefully we should be able to go back into Petal Isles, because something tells me there's going to be some more levels coming up eventually at some point. But then again though, that particular topic can wait. So, relatively speaking though, thankfully we did somehow accomplish that particular stage, despite the fact that I did somehow fall off to a bottomless pit for about, presumably 3 times, because again, you have to take a massive guess to see where you're able to go. But anyways, let's move on to yet another Expert Badge Challenge, but this time what appears to be Spring Feet 2, which is a sequel to Spring Feet 1, except, well, it's gonna be a little bit more trickier. So, hopefully it won't take me that many attempts, unlike the forms of how it does it on Invincibility 2, because as far as I'm aware, I don't usually equip that badge that much, just because, well, honestly, well, it's fine for what it is when it comes to the actual challenge, but it's just that, well, it'll make things a little bit more difficult as far as using it, and if you try to able to go into a new level, for example, and if you accidentally manage able to equip that badge, you never know of where exactly you were going, so you have to take a massive guess, like I said before, especially you have to able to keep on utilizing the forms of troll jumps a lot, so just in case you can able to definitely tell with the specific effects you're able to see. So, either way. So, potentially speaking though, despite I did fall off once, but that's okay, because again, checkpoints are very generous enough, so potentially we did somehow finish this particular stage, so nicely done. So, anyways though, there's also another thing I want to mention about, although I should suppose I can probably able to save that particular topic for later, because as a matter of fact, that I'm pretty sure no matter what though, that after we're done with this particular level right here, we can able to actually access to an unknown world, but then again, that particular world can wait until we basically done the main story first. So, I suppose no matter what though, we'll go ahead and buy the next badge, which as a result, it is the coin magnet, which this allows us to able to magnetically attract the forms of not only regular coins, but also flower coins as well. So that will come in very handy though, especially concerning for the fact that if you're missing out on quite a lot of those flower coins, then obviously that particular badge will be pretty useful. So, and I suppose, no matter what though, we've actually gotten everything at this point in time, including buddy forms of some of these secret exits in some stages. So, no matter what though, we're about to take on the forms of, presumably speaking, the 4th palace in the entire game. So, and hopefully we should able to beat Bowser Jr. for the 4th time, and hopefully we should able to claim ourselves the, well, the 6th Royal Seed. So here we go, on to Deep Magma Bog Palace. So, now I'm pretty sure this is actually going to be the final palace in the entire game. Well, presumably speaking though, when it comes to some main worlds. Because as far as I'm aware, once we're able to get ourselves all of these Royal Seeds, something tells me we're about to, you know, go back onto the forms of Petal Isles to not only get rid of that particular last Cloud Piranha, but also with the forms of able to actually, you know, access to any other levels. So, but anyways, let's go ahead and, oh geez, that was a really close call when it comes to not only obtain that particular 10 flower coin, but if I dare touch that specific stuff down there, I will die instantly. Or specifically a different colored lava kind of thing about it. So anyways though, so let's just go ahead and grab this little, dang it, I somehow messed it up. But that's okay, because we already got the checkpoint from earlier ago, so at least we don't have to worry about trying to go all the way back to the beginning. So there we go, that's what we're supposed to do. And exponentially, the wonder effect on this particular stage is, once again, we've turned into this very strange, slimy, bloppy kind of enemy. And as a result, we have to carefully navigate for this particular palace itself, and able to actually get ourselves the, well, the Wonder Seed. So, but either way. So, a few things I want to explain for this point today is that today's date, of course, is the 31st of January today, in some cases in 2024 today, and today's day is the forms of the final day of the forms of January, before we move on to February. And guess what, folks? It's about the fact that ever since when, both Sonic and Knuckles have already mentioned about quite a lot of stuff recently, ever since in yesterday, well, we've got some great news for you. Is that, potentially speaking though, the first PlayStation State of Play Direct is going to be coming until tonight. Well, depending on what time zone you lived in, at least depending on what region you lived in. So, no matter what though, I'm pretty excited and also a little bit skeptical at the same time. Just because no matter what though, while looking back on the past, when it comes to State of Play Directs for PlayStation, some of them are good, but some of them are actually pretty mixed bag, and some of them are actually like, meh. But regardless of such though, for what I've heard anyway, they obviously going to be able to mention about the forms of, well, in terms of State of Play coming up, I'm pretty sure they're able to mention about the last few bits of information, in regards to the forms of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, as far as I'm aware, just because that game is almost getting very close to its release. But either way, we'll discuss on that specific details on that until for a second, because here we go, face off against with Bowser Jr. for the, I would say the 4th time that we're going to be able to take him on. And I think, relatively speaking, this is going to be the final time we're going to be able to take on Bowser Jr., believe it or not. So no matter what though, he's going to be able to try to activate the Wonder Effect, which not only allows these little platforms to size to move within left and right, but also eventually at some point, he might start able to trick us for a moment by simply able to... You guys even remember that specific moveset from the likes of Ludwig von Koopa back in New Super Mario Bros. U? That basically though, he did summon the doppelgangers of himself. Well, basically, Bowser Jr. in the Wonder form did somehow manage to able to do the exactly same thing as what Ludwig von Koopa did somehow did in New Super Mario Bros. U, well, also same applies with New Super Luigi U as well. Well, no matter what though, as long as you were able to pay attention to where he is, especially that he almost able to actually send us the actual silhouette background. So, and if you accidentally stump onto a doppelganger, well obviously some of them will actually respawn from time to time. But once you get enough hits on him though, for about 4 hits, and you should be good to go. So, as a result, we did somehow finish Bowser Jr. off. And there's our 6th Royal Seed right here. So, yeah, everything else goes all hunky-dory and everything. Especially considering for the fact that I'm pretty sure that we've actually completed everything for the likes of Deep Magma Bog. So, and geez, it's pretty hot down there. But regardless of everything else though, not long now until we decide able to leave this world. Because, like I said before, since we've basically done everything in this world, we can now able to, you know, forced to go back onto Petal Isles to take care of this one last few bits. So, although I was expecting to try to able to buy some more standees eventually, but maybe for later, just because no matter what though, I'm pretty certain for the fact that we are basically done buying some of these Wonder Seeds from those populous shops for now, because as far as I'm aware, that's, yeah, we're getting nearly at the end for this game, folks. Especially, oh jeez, we did not expect these, plotter boosts to appear, but either way, though, that's as far as saying goes. So, and as to be expected, we're able to get ourselves, you know, 100 of these, flower coins, as to be expected, since we've, collected every single Wonder Seeds. Actually, gonna think about it, Deep Magma Bog did somehow manage to get a whole lot of those Wonder Seeds, I'm pretty sure. So, because of that, yeah, everything else goes all fine and dandy and everything, as I said this earlier. So, yeah, we must make our way back to Petal Isles for, presumably, for the final time. So, hopefully we should be able to take care of the forms of Castle Bowser for reals, so. But, either way, so, there's also another thing I want to mention about, is about the fact that I'm pretty certain that, we actually got ourselves some bit of, well, leaks and rumors is going on, which, again, I don't usually decide to able to, you know, trying to able to listen to the actual rumors and leaks anymore, but someone actually did mention about the fact that something Sonic related is supposed to be happening, but then again, time will tell, especially because we'll just have to wait and see what happens, because again, sometimes I don't trust rumors and leaks anymore, just because, well, you already know about this kind of stuff. So either way, so yeah, all these Cloud Piranhas is now officially gone for good, but something is about to happen, like as a result, Castle Bowser decides to go even much more stronger than that, so potentially speaking of, I'm pretty sure we must be able to make our way to Bowser Castle or Castle Bowser itself. So because of that, yeah, we were too late for that part. Well, we still got a lot of time though, especially considering for the fact that I don't think it's possible we can able to have too much trouble with that specific stuff though, which, truth be told though, about the fact that I'm pretty certain that we are basically gonna have to take a break on using Yoshis for now on. Well, to be more specifically, multicolored Yoshis for the sake of time, because as far as I'm concerned, I think it's probably best if we're able to select Mario until at the very end of the game. Well, to be more specifically in the main story. So, relatively speaking though, drat, I just realized that I've got my low battery of my controller, so yeah, let me quickly plug my controller in, so just in case if that's, well, if it might able to still charge enough. So, well, for those of you probably wondering, because yes, I'm still busy playing through some other games on my own time, like, not only for the sake of the forms of Super Mario RPG, just to gather some more enemy information, but also with the forms of some other games as well. So because of that, yeah, not much else of a surprise there, so let me just plug the controller in. There we go. So I'm pretty sure it's now fully charged for now. Well, it's currently charging at the moment, but yeah, it's just a bit of a nuisance though, because I'm still pretty much used to with my Switch Pro controller, so just because that controller is the best. So, and to make matters even better, no stick drifting, which unlike the Joy-Cons do sometimes manage to feel a bit too drifty. So either way, that's saying goes. So anyways, let's buy these standees right here. I was expecting if I was gonna able to. Oh wow, we've got every single Luigi standees now. So yeah, that's actually pretty awesome. And same applies with the red Yoshis as well. So yeah, it looks like we actually got ourselves some pretty good progression for buying certain standees, even though that we do need to catch up for Mario's and basically everyone else. So And I think that pretty much does it for now. Which I was assuming if I was trying to go after the rest. But then again, I think it's probably best able to save up with those flower coins for now. Until once we're able to finish up everything in this entire main story, then obviously there are still more things to come. So either way, let's switch to Nabbit right here. And potentially we can now move on to the final stretch for the actual emphasis on the forms of exploring through Petal Isles. So here we are, onto the forms of the entire Castle Bowser itself. And it seems to be more specifically, we have to go through, let's just say, quite a few levels around here. So according to the forms of that specific sections that we have to put up with. So yeah, this might take a bit while to able to get to the forms of the actual main entrance to the actual castle itself. So hopefully we should able to conquer those specific levels in no problemo whatsoever, even though despite the fact that we did accidentally choose the Nabbit, because concerning that Nabbit is an incredibly broken character. But regardless of everything else though, I just want to show him in action, you know. But either way, yeah, I was pretty excited about the fact that what the first ever State of Play Direct is going to be all about for the entire, you know, 2024 year, as a matter of fact. So let me know in the comments down below for the question of the day. What was your predictions for the sake of the Forms of State of Play presentation for 2024, to be more specifically, the 31st of January, because I would like to hear your thoughts. Especially concerning for the fact that, like I said before, I think what they're gonna do is that, well, I'll explain more about it in a second, because here we go on to the next level, which appears to be Missile Mag Mayhem. So, I think this level is gonna be filled to the brim with a lot of those weird missile enemies, as far as this is concerned, like these guys right here, as you saw on the left. So, either way, I'm pretty sure, kind of thinking about it, this particular last portion of the Forms of Petal Isles does kind of reminds me of the similar vibe as in the Forms of World Bowser from the likes of Super Mario 3D World for a bit. Except the fact that I don't think it's going to be a circus performance, but rather, let's just say like a musical performance or something. But then again though, we should probably be able to save that particular topic if we're able to get around into that, so... Well, there's that 10 flower coin right there. Good thing I did not miss that, because I did somehow manage to able to rethink about it. So, that's a good thing I did somehow recognize it. So yeah, if you get onto these little missile mags right here, I believe that those missile mags will able to actually go ahead and just decide to descend. And as a result, I accidentally died. So, whoops. That's okay, because we've already got the checkpoint, so no need to worry about, you know, restarting the whole thing all over again, so... But, still, I'm very excited to know about the fact that what specific announcements they'll do bring for the actual emphasis on the Forms of State of Play for, you know, 2024 year, as a matter of fact. Like, concerning that was going to be the first ever State of Play presentation for the entire 2024 year. So, no matter what though, as I said before, they're most likely going to be focusing on the last few bits of information for the likes of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, before that game decides to come out, until specifically, 29 days time. So because of that though, it seems that that particular game is almost getting very close to its release. Now, I don't think it's possible that I don't think that Kingdom Hearts 4 is not going to be appeared, just because obviously they need to do the last few touches for the sake of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth first. So yeah, it's totally understandably so. And as far as I'm usually concerned, that maybe if it's a possibility, they might able to do the next Sonic game remaster or something, just like the forms of how it does it for presumably for the likes of some other years or something. Even though it's kind of hard to tell at this point, just because then again we still have no idea what other games they'll brings us into for the majority of 2024. But aside from the fact that, well, I suppose that it doesn't seem it's going to be possible, that I don't think that Nintendo Direct is happening for this month. But hopefully, until in February, hopefully we should able to get ourselves some bit of confirmation for the actual Nintendo Direct for, you know, next month, or to be more specifically, sometime in February. So, as per expected with most any other years from 2019, 2021, 2022, and 2023, except 2020, because I don't count that, just because it only focuses on one title, which appears to be, of course, Animal Crossing New Horizons, which is understandable just because obviously that game back then, enjoying the forms of before this disastrous thing happens, enjoying that year, obviously they have to do the last few bits and bobs for able to mention about more information about the forms of Animal Crossing New Horizons, but aside from all that stuff though, that's as far as we can able to talk about. So even then, as you can see, that we did somehow complete the first of those Castle Bowser segments, or specifically the first Castle Bowser stage, as you can tell. So now we move on to the next level, which I think at this point I'll able to switch over to Luigi, just in case. I don't think we can probably able to play as the easy mode kind of characters for the time being, until specifically for later on. So here we go, High Voltage Goblet. Well, this stage is filled to the brim with a lot of electricity, so as be expected, we do need to watch out for those abundance of electricity, because if you dare touch the electricity, chances are you lose a power-up, or to make matters worse, if you're in small form, you just gonna take a life away. So, either way, I'm sure we'll basically got this though, especially concerning for the fact that, well, I don't think there's going to be anything down there, so because of that, that's a bottomless pit. So, either way, so far so good, especially concerning we did somehow found some more 10 flower coins to its disposal. I suppose no matter what though, if we make our way to the end portion of that particular Castle Bowser segment, I'm pretty sure I don't think it's possible we can able to get even more 10 flower coins for the time being, until specifically later on. So even then though, let's just go ahead and focus on this for right now. So now I just realized that those enemies are now attracted to electricity right here, so we also need to watch out for those. So yeah, this is what I mean about the fact that the game is going to get a little bit more difficult at this point, but because as you can tell, we're now approaching onto some levels, they have like 4-star difficulty, and eventually later on, 5-star difficulty. I mean, my goodness, it's going to get a little bit more difficult at this point. So, but I'm sure enough I'm up for a challenge, especially concerning despite the fact that we did somehow equip one of those badges. Like, the majority of them is potentially the parachute cap, just because it was super dang useful. So, oh, okay, this is interesting. The wonder effect on this stage right here is that we somehow became metal form ever since in Journey forms of Super Mario 64. Well, except the notable differences this time is usually in 2D plane rather than in 3D. So yeah, this is actually interesting. Although you move a bit slower, but regardless of such though, you'll easily get protected by the forms of a lot of electricity if you're in metal form, and so much so about the fact I just really love this particular wonder effect right here, especially because it reminds me of so much like I was playing through, do you guys even remember there was actually a game called Super Mario 63 with that particular Flash game of the Mario games? Well, I do seem to remember playing it back in the day, but of course we can't play that game anymore just because, you know, the Flash player is now no longer existent. So, kind of sucks honestly, especially concerning for the fact that I always have a lot of memories for that game, especially concerning for the fact it reminds me of so much of the forms of experiencing Super Mario 64, except, well, that game usually takes place entirely in 2D, so, but with the forms of some, Super Mario 64, as well as Super Mario Sunshine, combined gimmicks and stuff like that, along with Super Mario Galaxy as well, for that particular launch stars and all that stuff, so, pretty cool though, while looking back on it though. But then again, it's a shame I can't play that game anymore, and I don't think it's possible we can't do that Let's Play of that game either, just because I did manage able to try to test that out with my laptop capture footage, but it just keeps on lagging and drop frame rates most of the time, which is not that very pleasant in my book. So, either way, let's just move on to the next level, and this time we'll select Blue Toad right here, because blue is obviously my favorite color, because it reminds me of so much of Sonic. So here we go, on to Invade the Secret Bullet Bills. I wonder what this level is going to be involved around in. Oh, it's this very strange looking Bullet Bill-like enemies right here. Okay, I guess we'll have to able to deal with them for the majority of this stage. So, Oh, and something's worth noting for, yes, I did somehow manage to able to get fully prepared to able to go back onto Sonic Dash now, because, well, I'm in the middle of the forms of trying to able to get myself the next cosmetic character, which we've already addressed this before, but as a result, I'm about to get myself Dragon Fire Sonic in Journey Forms of Sonic Dash, which, let me tell you, is going to be pretty cool though, once I did somehow manage to unlock him. Well, after getting myself the forms of a whole bunch of those character cards, which I'm still not a big fan of that system in my opinion, because it never felt quite the same as getting the actual character tokens ever since in the past few updates. Well, I suppose beggars can't be choosers, I guess, but still. So, also, as far as I'm aware, I just somehow rage quit on Mario Kart Tour recently. Wanna know why? Well, out of curiosity, we still have no luck to able to get ourselves, you know, Orange Bodo after all. So because of that, what I'm gonna do is that I'm basically done playing Mario Kart Tour now. Not just because of the forms of repeated tours from the last year, but it's also about the fact that I just basically give up trying to able to actually get some more characters and such. Because, seriously, some of these characters are super dang difficult to obtain. I think it's due to the forms of the higher level progression, as far as I'm aware, that if I decided able to unlock certain characters if I'm in lower level for the actual stupid tier system in Mario Kart Tour, at the very least I could be fine, but it's just about the fact that the problem with that is I'm basically on a higher level for the actual tier system, and as a result it's gonna get a lot more you know, not only tedious, but it's also about the fact that it's also going to be quite of annoying when it comes to likely, like, you know, if you think you're about able to try to win something, but as it turns out, I didn't get any single aspects, well, when it comes to accomplishments, so either way, here's the actual wonder effect on this stage, where basically we can able to take a ride on this battle raft, which as a result, as you can tell, we can able to actually activate the cannon by simply able to jump off the switch and just jump back onto the switch, just in case you can able to activate the cannonballs, so just in case you can able to break certain scenery of the stage, including certain enemies, blocks, you name it. So, but you have to be very careful of that particular very odd colored lava, as to be expected, because obviously you will die instantly, so. But either way, once you get the hang of it though, it's actually not too bad, especially concerning for the fact that, well, assuming if you pretty much know exactly what to do, but try not to jump off like that, because obviously if you did jump off like I did, almost, but thankfully we've got the actual parachute cap equipped, for in terms of badges anyway, so just in case I can easily get myself some very safety landing, but either way, we've made it to that particular Wonder Seed, so awesome stuff. I just get the strong feeling that eventually later on though, it's gonna get a lot of emphasis on musical theme to it though, or some emphasis on the forms of music in the background or something, so. But then again, it's been about 2 days ago since we've last played this game for sure. I mean, sure enough though, like I said, we're nearly at the end for this game, so. And I'm sure enough though, it's about the fact that the Wonder Seed's color in the Castle Bowser segments is still basically orange, so as to be expected with the forms of unchanged colors for certain Wonder Seeds you can able to address for certain stipulations, so anyway, so now we're done with that particular stage, despite we are missing one thing, and take a wild card guess. Well, if you guessed the 10 flower coin, you are correct, because I have no idea where that is, but hopefully I'll try to able to look hard enough, so just in case I can able to actually easily obtain it for certain capacity or something, so. Alright, so we're now going to be moving on to the next level, but I'll save that for in a moment, because like I said before, we'll go back to this stage, and hopefully we should able to get the third and the final 10 flower coin on that specific stage. So now I believe after we're done with that, the next level coming up is going to be pretty exhilarating, especially I'm also able to go ahead and say this right now. I think we'll also select Peach on the next level, just because no matter what though, that it'll make things a little bit more interesting. So Although, I feel a little bit bad for able to not be selecting Daisy throughout the majority of this particular segment of the forms of Petal Isles, but hopefully we should able to see her again during at some point once we're able to make our way to the post-game content. So yeah, that'll make it work out. So, and yes, as far as I'm aware, speaking of Sonic and Knuckles though, basically both Sonic and Knuckles have gone to the halfway point in terms of Juicy Jungle World in Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze right now. So, generally speaking, I was about the fact I'm pretty sure they're almost going to be finishing up the entire game, as we probably already expect. So, man, I will admit, I really love the music in the background. It's almost like a rock band kind of felt to it. But even then, it's almost like Come to Extreme or something. Ah, there it is. So there's the 10 flower coin I was somehow missing on. So even then though, if you go into that different route, as you can tell, with that particular red pipe, I'm pretty sure that, is it possible it does still manage to take me into the forms of, well, I don't think it's possible we can, oh wait, it's still managed able to, takes us into a normal route. Okay, I keep thinking about the forms of down there, where basically though, if you go down there, that usually takes us to a wonder effect. So, again, like I said before, I do apologize for the forms of how the fact that my commentary not only feels a bit kind of awkward at times, but it's also about the fact that, like I said earlier, it's been 2 days since I played this, so. But either way, we've pretty much done everything on that particular stage. I will say, that stage is not too bad. So, potentially speaking though, that, again, it's going to get a little bit more difficult as far as we can progress. So, anyway, so let's go ahead and, you know, switch over to Peach for the next level, which, as a result, we're about to do it right now. So, concerning for the fact that, obviously, that, you know, Princess Peach Showtime is almost getting close to its release until the next couple of weeks. So, alright, Knuckle Fists, Bowser's Blazing Beats. Okay, it seems to be more specifically, yeah, I was right, it's all about rhythm-based kind of levels like this. So, yeah, so I was able to try to avoid as many of those fist contraptions, so, or knuckle fists, kind of, punches, so, yeah, it's gonna get a little bit more interesting. So, either way, let's just obtain the elephant fruit, just in case we can able to turn into an elephant transformation. Now, as far as the last level on the forms of Petal Isles, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think we can probably complete that until specifically, well, we'll save that until on Friday sometime, especially concerning that makes a little bit more sense to able to actually finish up the main story for the majority of the forms of the week or something. So, anyways, oh, this is a very strange enemy we did somehow come across into. But, yeah, that's as far as saying goes. That's as far as I can usually try to able to discuss upon today's topic at this point. I mean, I would have liked to explain something else, but, we'll just go say that we'll let, both Sonic and Knuckles, or, I would say applies with the forms of, Silver and Pac-Man, we're able to actually mention about the forms of specific topics on the forms of specific announcements they'll bring for, the first ever State of Play Direct presentation for PlayStation for 2024, especially concerning for the fact that until about that time later on in 2024, that will mark the 30th anniversary of the specific game console release of the original PlayStation. So, which I'm not exactly sure what they're going to be working on exactly, but I'm sure enough though we'll find out some more details about that specific topic until specifically for later down the road for 2024, because again, this is just the beginning after all. So, alright, so we stand on the podium, and it seems we can able to get that particular Wonder Flower, of course, which able to perform ourselves. I will admit though, this shot right there is really, really radical, especially no matter what though. That's imagine if you're trying to able to play as Mario, it'll make things a little bit more awesome as far as that pose is concerned. Well, exponentially speaking though, because it seems that, yeah, it's all about rhythm, kind of timing, segment, as you can tell, because, relatively speaking though, you have to watch out for those specific, fist punches, because, again, that's, if you dare get hit by these, knuckle fists, then obviously you take a hit, so. Alright, so just how to able to watch out for the most part, and yeah, nothing else I can really say about this, but then again, we'll discuss upon the forms of the actual game announcements they bring for State of Play, and during at some point in probably either tomorrow, or potentially on, you know, the extra stuff in WarioWare Get It Together, basically, so... Alright, so we've got every single 10 flower coins right now, so we can able to finish up the level like so. Ah, dang it! I somehow messed it up. Whoops. Well, that's okay though, because we've already got the checkpoint from earlier, so, Holy, I was not expecting that specific, death right there, for able to accidentally bounce onto that specific, multi-chained bullet bill looking enemy. I'm not exactly sure what their names are exactly, but, exponentially though, let me know in the comments, down below, or something like that, so... But, yeah, I still haven't heard anything for the likes of Kev King 74 either. Well, that's just mainly because by that point in time, that he was expecting to able to actually get some more views for the sake of the forms of some upcoming parts for Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, because still his progression so far is actually still on the forms of Space Paranoids based off from Tron World in Journey forms of in well, you know what I'm saying, a pretty cool movie as far as I'm concerned. Alright, there we go. Now we did somehow succeed by not be able to actually get that exactly same death again. But we just have to able to... Oh, jeez. We keep on getting owned by these specific knuckle fists. But hopefully, though, we should be able to... Do I have to... Oh, jeez. Oh, God. This is actually getting pretty insane. And there's the Wonder Seed right there. And there we go. Oh wait, that was quite intense, I'm not gonna lie. Especially concerning for the fact that, well, obviously if we did not pay attention to the forms of those rhythm stuff as much, then obviously we'll easily get butt kicked. So, either way, gold flagpole for the win. And I don't think it's possible we can able to come across into that golden flagpole until anytime soon, because as far as I'm concerned, that's, well, we finally made it to the entrance to the final level in Journey forms of the Petal Isles. So, and I believe we're able to automatically get ourselves the 100 flower coins after getting every single Wonder Seeds, I'm pretty sure, for, you know, able to actually go into the forms of Petal Isles. So, yeah, that's pretty much summed up as such. So I think, potentially, if we go onto that specific spot, obviously there's some more, dialogue text boxes here and there, saying about the fact that you've now made it to the final act. So, and I can't wait to see how the final act is going to turn out to be, which, again, we'll pretty much get to play as Mario for the sake of the forms of that particular stage anyway, because obviously he's the main character of the game, of course. So of course, just like the forms of how it does on New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe for the Switch, it doesn't matter what specific characters you're going to be playing as for the majority of any other parts worth noting for. So, either way, I was expecting to be able to notice about the actual other thing I can probably discuss upon, but that's as far as I can talk about this, especially, yeah, Bowser's Rage stage. Oh, this is going to get a little bit more interesting, huh? Especially concerning after countless amount of defeats in the past years, so it was expecting that maybe it's a good opportunity that he did somehow come across with that specific name for an act. So, the final battle, Bowser's Rage stage. So, now before I end off the video right here, I need to pop over to Poplin's shop again, so... Just in case that, you know, if we're gonna buy some even more standees as far as I'm concerned. So, let's see what specific new ones we might get. Well, not looking good so far. Well, at least we've got new ones for Peach. Well, not so much for Daisy, though. Oh, so close! But at least we got something new for Daisy at the very least. And so close for Mario. Well, at least we got another one for, Toadette. Huh. Kind of interesting right here. And of course we've already got all of the Luigi standees right there, so nothing too surprising. Oh, just one more left for Blue Toad. Oh, come on! I hate randomness. But at least we got one more for Daisy, so we're getting very close. Oh, so close. Ah, so close again. At least we got another one for Yellow Yoshi. Ah, dang it. Oh, come on! Well, at least we got all of the Blue Toad standees right now, so that's something. Oh, we've got every single green Yoshi standee, so that's pretty awesome. Alright. Okay, so we got 2 more yellow toads left, so seems that we've almost done for the most part. So yeah, I think I might as well stop because I just don't want to spend overly too much. So yeah, I suppose with that being said though, let me just quickly go back into Castle Bowser for able to make our way to the last bit of the actual thing. So, or we can just simply easily use the warp system. So yeah, everything else goes. So with that being said, we're going to endings off this point right here. So join me next time for more of Let's Play of Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Is that we're going to be entering into the final battle, Bowser's Rage stage, as Mario, because it'll make it a little bit of a perfect opportunity to stop Bowser for good. So I'll see you guys on Friday. Later, fellas.